And finally, the last piece that I would like to touch upon is the computing machines, the thinking machines, or the artificial intelligence or machine learning algorithms. I've been personally developing and working a lot on these. They have helped me a lot in businesses. But I think what this pandemic also gives us an opportunity to introspect and realize is the inherent risk. And I'm not talking about, bad data or algorithmic biases, etc. Those are given risks which have been well documented and spoken about. What I'm talking about is the basic premise of these algorithms, that past patterns repeat themselves and they help us to predict the future. So let's take the pandemics as a case in point. 1918 there was a big Spanish flu, then there were various pandemic attacks in 50s, and in the 2000s, the 21st century itself there have been 7 or 8. But do we have credible data which we can model for the period of these last 100 years or 500 years? The answer is clearly no, because we've only just started about to live in the digital economy. So we do not have data. What is the easiest response when you don't have data? Is you completely just ignore the variable, right? And that is a big risk that I see with application of these AI and ML algorithms in our workspaces. And that applies, of course, to risk. But I'm taking an extreme example of something as extreme as, let's say, a pandemic attack. But if you go down and look at all the various AI and ML algorithms, typically they are working in a black box, and people are not kind of getting into it to see what are the critical assumptions that are embedded within the AI and ML recommendations, and whether the businesses run a risk, any of the ones that I mentioned, or a reputation risk, or any other correct decision making, for instance, as a result of adopting those AI and ML algorithms. What happens, when the world is interconnected with 40 billion devices over IoT, and these devices are autonomous devices which are making their own decisions? Is it not incumbent upon us to kind of really take a deep, hard look into the assumptions that drive literally the physical world around us?